All right, so here we are. We're going to talk about the belief cycle and how, if you're trying to create a different result within your relationship, within your career, within your business, all things included here, understanding the belief cycle and how our beliefs and our thoughts and our emotions that are kind of getting dragged into that belief, how if we understand where things start and how we get to a certain result, if we really truly see this and see the visual of it, but understand it conceptually and then kind of embody it within ourselves, we can start to shift the results in the way that we choose. And if you're feeling like you're at a plateau, you're trying to break through and get to a different level, it truly is going to come down to what are you believing is possible, what are you starting with in your belief place, and how is that leading to the result that you currently have, but also how can we change that belief for something more empowering, more expansive, so that we can create a different result here. So welcome, first and foremost. But first, to change your results, you need to take a few steps back and evaluate what belief paved the way. Because I know I'm speaking to men here, but we love to look at results. We're very results-driven human beings. And when we look at the results, we tend to think that if we want a different result, we have to change our behavior. We have to change our actions. And that's true to a certain point. But if we only play in those two realms and just try to change up some action or do different action, try more action, our results aren't going to shift in a huge way because we're being very limited in our thinking. We're not really seeing the biggest picture here. We truly need to look at and take a few steps back to what was the belief that led to an expectation, which led to certain actions, which led to a result. And this is what I mean by that. So if you take a look at this visual here, you can see at the top of this little cycle that belief is where everything starts. And then that belief will lead to an expectation. That expectation will lead to behavior, and then you will get a certain result. So let me explain to you very briefly after I take a sip of my coffee here how this might play out in certain ways. We'll use money because it's a tangible thing. We all experience money. We all want more money. So it usually tends to be a decent place to start. So let's say the result that you're currently experiencing is you're hitting a certain threshold or a plateau of money and you're not getting as much as you'd like to. The result that you have is not exactly what you want. So let's just kind of take a step back and look at the belief of that. If you have a belief that money is hard to make, or making money is difficult, everybody's out to get me, there's not enough money to go around, there's many beliefs that we could start with, but let's just say making money is difficult was the belief that you began with. Now, as you begin at that belief, that's going to create an expectation. So the expectation from that belief, let's say the belief again was making money is difficult, the expectation that follows from that is that everywhere you turn, you're going to see a challenge. There's going to be something that comes up that just reinforces this belief that your ability to make money is a difficult path. So this expectation kind of creates a certain energy within you as you're trying to take the action and think about, how do I make money? If your belief that you started with is making money is difficult, your expectation will be it's going to be challenging. I have a feeling, I have this knowing within me that it's going to be difficult, so I should trust and know that as I start to take action, it's going to be a long haul. It's going to be pretty hard. And then from that expectation, within the behavior that you take, the action that you take, you're going to almost dread the action of trying to make money if your innate belief was that making money is difficult, and the expectation that you brought from that is everything's going to be pretty hard uphill as I make the moves towards making money. Your behavior, your action is going to carry this weight of it's going to be a while. I'm just going to trust that it's going to be a rough path and it's not going to be fun, and then your result is going to be reflective of your very heavy action that you took. So you're not going to get exactly what you want out of this because you've believed from the start that making money is hard. So you expected to see a lot of challenge. Your behavior was very heavy. It wasn't light. It wasn't fun. It was like, this sucks. I know that after taking all this action, there's not going to be a huge result in the path of this. So your action just carried a lot of weight. And with the result that you got, it reflected back to the belief that you started with, which was making money is kind of difficult, right? Now, here's the tricky part about the cycle is that you don't get your result and then be done with it. When you get to your result, that's going to then pour more gasoline on the belief that you began with. Because if your result was that you didn't make a ton of money, you're going to cycle back and start again from a belief that it's hard to make money because you saw evidence of it. And that evidence that you saw within your result is just going to pour more gas on that fire. and then you're going to start it back up again. So now your belief is not making money is difficult. Making money is really difficult. And now your expectation is going to carry more weight. Your action is going to carry more weight. And then you're going to get a similar result. And this is how people kind of stay the same for a very long time, whether it be making money or otherwise, is because we get caught in this cycle. And this cycle only gets broken if we start to choose a different belief. Because our belief is something that we get to choose. A thought and an emotion that we kind of tie into what we're believing is going to start to bring in new expectations, start to give us a different way that we can take action. Because if our belief is different, then we're going to expect different things, we're going to behave in a different way, and then eventually we're going to see a different result. But our job is to break the cycle and start with a different belief. So if you're experiencing a result right now that you don't enjoy, it's not because you need to take different action. Well, I guess taking different action is going to be required, but taking different action is going to happen when you have different expectations of what that action will bring you, and that means that you're going to need a different belief to start with. So many of us men love to look at this result and then take one step back and say, well, what's the behavior I need to change? Do I need to call more people, message more people, and make my outreach different? Do I need to post differently on social media? Do I need to do different things within my relationship to make that change? Do I need to change my workout plan, my diet plan? We only look at behavior. But if we trace things back to belief and then change out a different belief for what we had, we can start to see different results. So let's go back to the money-making thing. If our original belief was making money is difficult, and we have evidence now, we've gone through this cycle a few times where evidence is showing us that making money is difficult. If we want to change that result, we need to swap out the belief. And then here's the thing, we don't need to have evidence of anything to have a belief. Santa Claus, right? No evidence aside from the stories we see on TV, but there's no evidence that most of us saw him, but we believed him. And that, eventually created a certain result in terms of things being under the tree and so on. So believing is not seeing. Believing is a choice that we make, a thought that we have that we allow to run on repeat. So if we can switch out the belief, we can switch out the result. So again, back to making money. If you believe that making money is difficult, let's try something different. Let's say money is always available to me. Let's say that that's the belief that you begin with. So when you start with that belief of money is always available to me, the expectation that you bring to that is, oh, this is going to be pretty easy. I know that money will always be available at every turn. I'm not expecting challenge at every turn. I'm expecting money or opportunity or something to come my way. That's my expectation. And then behavior-wise, I'm not carrying as much weight into it. It's joyful. It's fun. We're living at an energy and acting at an energy that is high level now. We're not carrying the weight of all of our doubts and our worries. We're just having fun with the action that we're taking. And frankly, the behavior here might be the same behavior, specific actions that you had with the old belief, but you're not carrying the same weight, the same emotional just heaviness with the actions that you're taking. And then eventually, because you started with this belief, you had a different expectation, you had more fun when you were taking action, guess what? Your result's going to change. Now, is it going to be light years different? Is the exponential growth going to happen immediately? No. Exponential growth is not something that shoots up immediately. Exponential growth starts slow, and then it builds, and then it shoots up after you have sunk into this cycle for a few rounds. So if you got the result through this belief now that you made more money. Money was a result of all of this lovely energy that you brought to the cycle. Now you have different evidence, something else that you can plug into your belief again. And again, no matter what your result, you're going to pour more gas on that fire that you started with. So what are you starting with? Do that cycle a few times. See the result come to be and allow that to start up your belief again. But so many of us are unconscious to the cycle. So we have a negative or a disempowering belief up here. Then we take a certain expectation and action. We get a result and then we say, yeah, I was right. I knew it. And then we pour that back on top of our belief. And that's just going to create more of the same. So if you want something different, if you're feeling like you've hit a plateau or you want to break through where you're at, I promise you the way that you need to begin and start the process is through your belief. Stop focusing so much on your action. Take a few steps back and look at your belief. So here's a couple tips for you. If you have a certain result in your life, and this could be this could span out to everything that you are experiencing, relationship-wise, money-wise, finance, business, all this stuff. Based on your results, what belief must I be leading with? So if you have a result right now that you don't favor, something that you're not enjoying, ask yourself from a very objective, non-judgmental place, what belief must I be leading with here? If you don't have enough money right now, is your belief that money is hard to make? And if you know that that's true, if you feel that in your bones that that's a belief that you're carrying, how can you switch it? How can you switch it? We'll talk about that in step 2. But you have to identify what belief you're carrying into this. Now, it's not going to be a science that you go back and say, like, this is the specific belief, but you're going to kind of get a sense of, what do I believe to be true about money, about relationships, about health and fitness? If you believe in health and fitness, that it's really difficult to lose weight, guess what? This cycle is going to create that experience for you. If you feel that it's hard to find someone as a loving partner, you've had a lot of trouble in the dating world, so you have this assumption, this belief that it's difficult, you're going to see more of the same because you're leading with the belief that you always carry. So just identify with the results that you currently have, what belief must I be leading with if I'm seeing this result? And if you're trying to break through that belief, if you're trying to break through that result, I should say, then you need to start with a different belief. So on to step 2 here, with the result that I truly desire. So obviously we want to start with the result and kind of work backwards here. If you want more money, if you want a different relationship, if you want a healthier body, what belief must you begin with? And that's always going to be something that you choose. It's not something that you're starting with based on evidence or based on something that you have seen. And frankly, you might have evidence in a different phase of your life that makes the belief easier to believe. But I want you to understand that since the result is coming from the belief, all your old results were coming from an old belief. So if you want to start with a new belief, you have to just trust and have faith that we can choose this and decide on this without any evidence carrying into it. I can just choose it based on my own brain saying that this is what I want. So if you want more money, your belief is going to have to be money making is easy, money is always available to me, money is always and everywhere around me. These beliefs are things that can allow you to start the process. I can make money with ease. I can do this with joy in my heart. These beliefs are powerful and they can start the cycle, but you have to say, what result do I want? And then cycle back. What would that belief look like that allows this result to come to be? With health and fitness, what belief must you have? I must believe that I'm worthy of having a healthier body because at this point I've been overweight, I've been out of shape, and I have this innate belief that I am not worthy of being in shape. Because maybe, when you were younger, somebody called you chubby and you just thought that was who you were, so therefore you weren't worthy of having a healthy body. That's bullshit. And you can just insert a different belief and start the process. You are very worthy of a healthy body. Frankly, you're worthy of having money in your life. You're worthy of having love in your life. These beliefs of unworthiness are one of the biggest roadblocks I see. So start with a different belief, knowing that your result is what you want. Cycle back and say, what belief is necessary to start with? And then allow that to start to create a different cycle, a more empowering cycle, a beautiful cycle that will bring you more results and then pour more gas on the fire of your empowering belief that you began with. So that's the belief cycle in a nutshell. I hope that this kind of just shed some light on how you've gotten to where you've gotten. And if you want to change something, if you want a different result, a higher result, a more abundant result, whether it be in money, a relationship, or whatever, you truly need to look at what beliefs am I bringing to the table and how is that affecting what I'm getting out of my life. It's really this simple, and it feels too simple for life-changing results, but you do need to start with what belief you're beginning with. All right, man, I will see you very soon.